Well, we're back right here in the studio, and I hope everyone out there is having a very nice evening. We have with us right now Mr. Hamza Taqi, Master Performance Consultant. Hamza, welcome to our program, Hala Kuwait.
Thank you for having me.
It's
It's
a
always
pleasure.
a pleasure to be with you.
Pleasure to have you with us. And now the students are all back. They've had the Ramadan time and back. So, what are the steps students should take when preparing for the end of year exams, as we're getting towards that soon?
Absolutely, and this is very important topic, and students should really prepare early, like 6 to 8 weeks before the exam, and they should have a schedule and estimate or assess the sessions that they will study and chunk it to make it smaller part into smaller topics and continuing, going through it and studying it to be, comfortable for the day of the exam, not to cramp it all,
In the last few days.
few days. It's not going to be effective whatsoever.
So you mentioned now just, the students ideally should be 6 to 8 weeks
Yes, minimum.
preparing. And so how can they create, let's say, an effective study environment to kind of focus a study schedule, as you were saying earlier?
Absolutely.
Maybe give us some tips on that.
Yeah, it's basically you need to have a location that is very quiet. The environment should be supportive. The parents should be supporting and encouraging. And, the mobile should be,
To the side a little bit.
yeah, taken away out of the room because, it is a distraction. You want to be focused. You want to be. The other thing is that, some students and some parents, they don't know their task during that. You are a student. You're not doing much. You're not obligated to do anything except study.
Right.
So your task is to study. So if you're not studying, then you're not doing the basic task. Yeah.
So how do you feel students can balance revision of multiple subjects without feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah, that's a bit hard because they have, like, let's say six subjects to study altogether. So it's better to rotate these subjects. Every day you study a certain subject and then you go to another subject and so on. But don't stay in one subject for a long time. It's good to rotate one subject after another, and then you will have like an idea about all the subjects that you are going to take the exam and cover all the areas in there.
Yeah, that's some good techniques.
Yes.
But what other techniques do you recommend for younger students versus the older students?
Well, the younger students, they need some sort of...
Because younger students, maybe their focus is not always there, correct?
Absolutely. So they need more of like colorful and
Something
maybe
to keep their attention.
exactly, and they need to draw and storytelling, maybe flashcards, make it into like a game for them, and they would prefer that. Where adults requires to go through mock exams, through going through previous exams, and maybe teach back for the other colleagues, for their friends and so on, to comprehend the subject. When you teach it, it becomes very easily, you can recall it actively during the exam and answer hopefully all the questions.
So the younger ones maybe need a little bit more, let's say, supervision too, right?
Right. Here, the supervision, again, I go back to the task. The task of the student is to study. Now, the parents, what is their task? Their task is a supporter,
Right.
not enforcer. They cannot force the student to study. They just have to be there to comfort them and to assist them of whatever they want. But don't intervene in a way to create more, pressure and anxiety for the students. They need to be just supporting and giving and making the environment healthy for the students to study.
What about, Mr. Hamza, your advice on getting tutors to come help? Because
Tutors-
that's also very prevalent in Kuwait, yes.
Yeah, it's common. It helps if
They need the help.
Yes, if the student doesn't know the subject matter very well and needs assistance, a teacher can help or a tutor can help to put their attention on the topics that are really important and to prioritize the topics that will be addressed in the exam. Because most of the exams, they are repeated, but they change the wordings and they change the approach to it. But the subject is the same. So where they going to bring the exams, the tests or the questions from? It's going to be almost the same question. So if you go through all the questions, even during the year when you're studying, you have homeworks, you have a topic that you studied, and there is a questions after that. Go through those questions. That's the best way to capture all the topics, and you go to the exam with confidence.
And so how can the students now manage all this extra stress, anxiety, especially, the younger children, for that matter, any of the children, even adults? It can be very stressful. You want to get results and you may have some things you want to do. How can you manage that?
I believe,
what are some techniques maybe to relax, calm down?
Yeah, I think, take a deep breath, relax, and know that don't overthink things, because when we think too much, we kind of deplete ourselves and pull our energy down, and we cannot focus. But be positive, stay positive, smile, take a deep breath. Breathing exercise make you focus more, and as we said, chunk it, make it smaller, and then study for 25 minutes. Take 5 minutes break. It's okay. Go to your mobile. Go play games. Come back and do 25 minutes. And then you will go hopefully into the flow. You'll see yourself staying for 4 hours studying for the exam.
Is it better to study, let's say, right after school, in the late afternoon? Is there better times, or all time depending on individuals? I mean, some like to take a little nap,
right,
take a little lunch,
or
maybe
play.
They do some exercise, right, or sports, and then in the night. But then some prefer at night just to calm down and rest. What do you recommend on that?
Again, as you said, it's individualistic. If everyone has their own good timing or their own hour where they are, really focused to study, because studying, it's not just, going through. You want to be focused. You want to analyze what you are reading, what you are studying, and maybe summarizing and getting the tips and keywords from the subject that you are studying, and going again through the problems, going through the questions and answering them, because it helps. It helps you. It's like when you are riding the bicycle, when you exercise, then you ride the bicycle very easily. Same thing. When you study a lot, by the time the exam date comes, you're comfortable. You don't need to worry. And sometimes there are many, we know through our work, we know there are a lot of students during the lecture, they are very active, they're very smart. Once they are in the exam, they start thinking, overthinking, and they stress themselves and they worry, and they do bad in the exam. Although, if you tell them, go and do a presentation or teach the students on the subject, they will teach the students and they know the subject. But, some people have something against exam. They feel exam is like, it makes them feel weary and anxious and stressed. And all these things is not going to help. You just take deep breath and relax and know that you have gone through this subject throughout the year. You have done your homework. You have followed through. So it's really, apparently that's how you do it.
Well, we're going to continue this conversation after this short break, and they'll be back with our distinguished guests, so stay tuned.
2025年大阪万博にクウェートパビリオンが参加。
وين ما نروح ناخذ من الكويت كويت، من أصالتها، من كرمها، من طيب أهلها، ومن تراب أرضها اللي احتضن أبطال برها وبحرها. تاريخ يشهد له العالم، وإنجازات لصنع مستقبل بعراقة الماضي. الكويت دانت الأحلام، طموحها أوسع من حدود الفضاء. الكويت وطن خلى الإنجاز والتقدم والاستدامة من تقاليده وعاداته.
Well, we're back right here in the studio. And if you're just tuning in, we have with us right now Mr. Hamza Taqi, Master Performance Consultant. And Mr. Hamza, before we went to that break, we were talking a little bit about students preparing for the exams at the end of the year. So what are some tips to improve focus and avoid distractions for the students while they're studying?
Again, it's the fact that, you have a time to study. If you put 1 hour to study, focus on that 1 hour. Don't think that, okay, you'll do a little bit and then you want to go watch TV or you want to call your friend or you want to play some games. Set the time. This is your goal. This is your task. You are, as students, you are not, doing anything. That's what we need from you is to study. So once you have that goal in mind, that, and then it's few months, few weeks. If you don't study for it, remember the results that you will get and focus on that, focus on your goal. That will make you a bit, focus, and you say, no, this is important for me. I spend 2 months before I prepare for the exam. I will look good. I will go to the next stage in my career, and that's what makes you, focus on your study. Sure. And really put the time to study. You can play, delay gratification. You can play later. Focus. This is your work. This is your goal. Focus on your job, and that's you. After, you will have holidays, summer holiday. You can travel. You can enjoy. Having that in your mind, you'll say, these 2 months, like the 6 months that passed by, these 2 months are going to pass by very quickly. So I may as well, as a student, to do my tasks, to reach my goal, to study and focus and put a bulk of time to get the results that I want.
Very well said. So how can the parents now support their children with these things you were just saying, emotionally during the exam period? How can they guide them in the correct way?
The problem with us as parents sometimes, we don't, how do I say it? We stress more than the students.
It can make them stress.
Exactly.
Your children.
It's not helpful.
It's
not. As a parent, you need to be calm. You need to be relaxed and remind that you are there to support. If they need anything, if they require anything to help them, study. Make the environment, make it a quiet place, help them study and be the supporter, not the enforcer. Don't force them, because children, if they are forced, they will feel a bit, stressed, and then they maybe sit on the desk, pretend that they are studying, but they are not studying. You want it to come from within. So you are there to support, to guide, to encourage, rather than enforcing and shouting and screaming and getting yourself,
all worked
angry,
up over
worked
nothing.
up.
Yes,
it's not gonna help whatsoever. Yeah.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Hela Kuwait right here on KTV2, the family channel. And I hope everyone out there is having a very nice evening. Moving on with our questions that we have for Mr. Hamza. How important is sleep, nutrition, and physical activity during the exam period?
Very important. I mean, sleep by itself, it's good to, take the information that you studied during the day and go into your memory. Exercising, it takes the stress away. Having a good meal and nutritious meal will help your brain, focus more and be ready to do the exam. So food, and exercise and sleep is vital. I know people, during when we were students, I know people, they stay, all night studying, and then they have a little breakfast or tea, and then they go to the exam. This is really the worst thing that you can do for yourself. It's very important to sleep By the way, if you're studying for the exam, it's not the right way to study in the night of the exam. I mean, if you have prepared yourself from now, when it comes to the exam, the night of the exam, you should play. You should have fun. You should go watch movie. And you should go sleep early and relax and, have a nice breakfast and go to the exam. And you will do very well because you've studied, you prepared. I know one story that, parents who have 2 children. One child, tomorrow, they have exams. They're the same, 1 grade more, they're having the exam period. And one of them is playing with his friends outside and stuff. And the other one is studying. The father doesn't know. So when he saw his, he said, this guy is bad, he's playing, tomorrow exam. And my other son he's really studying and he's saying, but guess what? Because this guy didn't study all year. So he's studying in the night. So he's, closing the doors, sitting by himself, trying to revise everything from the beginning. The other person, he was doing the homework, he was studying, he was, listening to the teacher, he was, doing all the things. And he was prepared for the exam. So on the day of the exam, tomorrow the exam, he's relaxed. So don't judge your child if they are not studying. Focus on the efforts that they make throughout the year, not on basically the results or in the last minute.
True, very well said. And how can the kids maintain their motivation, especially if they feel tired or discouraged? How can you help them to stay pushing, going forward? Again,
they have to remember their goal. They have to remember why they are doing what they are doing. It's their life at the end of the day. And they know, if they know that, if we clarified as parents, as friends with them, that your task is to study. You are not supposed to. You eat, you sleep, you study. You eat, you sleep, you study. Your parents, maybe they go to work and gain some money. But this is your task. Your task is study. So no matter what, if you remember, you remind yourself that you are here in this period of time, you're only supposed to study. So you're studying. Even if you're tired, you have some, a nap, and then go back and study. That's all you do. Quit the games, quit the things that you do on regular basis, because before you know it, those 4 or 6 weeks, they're going to go like this.
True.
The exam will be there, and you don't want to look bad, or you don't want to stress yourself in the exam date, and you want to cramp everything all together. It's not going to be helpful. It's better to be prepared from now.
Very well said. And Mr. Hamza, it was a pleasure to have you on our program once again. Thank you very much for your valuable time and insight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
We'd like to thank our distinguished guest, Mr. Hamza Taqi, a well-known master performance consultant right here in the state of Kuwait. We thank him so much for his time and insight with us this evening right here on the program. And with that, we come to the conclusion of tonight's episode. Make sure to enjoy the rest of your viewing tonight and all throughout the week right here on KTV2, the family channel. And before I leave you, remember to always take care of yourselves and each other. And let's always remember to respect one another.